If you're already selling on Amazon, but your margins keep coming in lower than expected, I'm gonna tell you exactly why right now. It's not your product, it's not your pricing, it's something that's on your Keepa graph that you're either not reading correctly or you fully don't understand. And here's the thing, this is the exact same mistake that I made when I first started, and it took me way longer than I should have to be able to figure this out. So I'm gonna walk you through the 4 things that I tell my virtual assistants to check every single time they send me a lead. And if they can't check all 4, I don't trust the lead, period. And after this video, you'll know exactly what they are so that you can check for yourself as well. So here's what happened to me. A few years back, I was looking at this product on Amazon, which don't worry, I'll pull it up on this board in a second. And Keepa is showing me that it sells thousands of units a month, so I trust it. I'm thinking, this is a fire lead, it's incredible, I definitely have to buy it. I ship my units into Amazon and I wait. And my sales come back at like 80 units sold that month, or maybe 90. And I'm sitting there genuinely confused, like, it told me it was going to sell thousands. How did I only sell 80 or 90 units? And here's what I didn't understand at the time. That 1,000 units a month is split evenly across all of the sellers. There's usually only a few sellers on the listing who are dominating the buy box. And if you're not winning it currently, you're getting whatever scraps the top seller isn't taking. So I was buying into these competitive listings and I was just getting straight scraps. That's the buy box problem. And it's probably the reason your numbers look a little bit thinner than what you previously thought before you bought the product. And once I figured out how to read Keepa properly, I completely removed making that mistake. And now it's the first thing, literally the first thing that I tell all my virtual assistants to look at. As you can see, I used to be in the exact same situation, just biking my product. And now I'm living a life that I can only dream of. And this business has not only made me financially free, but it's helped other people around me as well. I've been obviously fortunate enough to change other people's lives as well. Coupe, Rolexes, all that great stuff. And these are also my students inside of my mentorship program. All of them either started from zero or were making only $2,000 to $5,000 around there, and they quickly scaled to obviously 20K months, 50K months, and I even have a student doing over $100,000 a month with really high profit margins, which is rare when you're doing Amazon FBA. A lot of you guys know Coupe, who is 19 years old. He scaled from $800 to $28,000 in a singular month in less than a year inside of our community. But everyone seems to be obsessing over the wrong thing. It's not your product, it's not your pricing strategy. It's something that you're just completely overlooking. A few years back, I was looking at this product and it said that it sold over 1,000 units, which real Amazon sellers know that that's not true, and I'm gonna explain to you why. Well, my sales came back at like 80 or 90 units for that month, which is incredibly weird for something that sells 1,000 times a month. And I was confused, obviously, as a normal seller would be, but what I didn't realize is that 1,000 sales a month was being split up by multiple different sellers. And sometimes there's only a few sellers on the listing who are just dominating the buy box, right? One seller might be making 550 sales a month, while the other might be doing 450, and then that leaves you with all of the scraps, and nobody is gonna make enough money to survive or even make a luxurious amount of money off of scraps. And that's what you call the buy box on Amazon, which a lot of you guys might know by now. And I was looking into these competitive listings and buying into them and realizing, why am I not getting a fair share of the volume? And why am I getting what's left over? I don't want what's left over. I want a big chunk of the pie. And that's exactly what I'm gonna explain to you in this entire video. And it's probably the reason that your margins are looking a little bit weaker than when you were initially purchasing the product. And once I figured out this one trick, which I'm gonna break down into 4 different parts, I literally train all my virtual assistants to do the exact same thing for me. And if they can't check off all 4 of my specific qualifications for a good lead, then I do not buy it. And if you don't have virtual assistants that are doing sourcing for you, that's completely fine. That means that you need to learn this even more so that you can essentially teach other virtual assistants how to do it and essentially automate the process. And before I start this video, I actually made a detailed video how I consistently hit $50,000 a month with profit margins unheard of in this industry using virtual assistants, and I even break down exactly how I find them. No gatekeeping. Without further ado, there are 4 things that all of my VAs check on Keepa before a single product hits my lead list. We're gonna start over here at buy box percentage. This is one of the most important things that you can look at when sourcing. Look at this graph right here. There's the Keepa price history chart. A lot of you guys don't really know how to read this. It's not rocket science. It's not like trading. This is actually really simple to understand. What you really wanna look at is Amazon, the buy box percentage, and maybe a few other things like sales rank. So you can see on this particular lead that the buy box is hovering from 30 to 40, sometimes it's shooting up to 50, but it's really hovering in this middle range right here, which means that whether it's down here or whether it's up here, you're probably going to be getting lots of sales right in this range right here. That's how you generally read a Keepa buy box. Okay, let's say this particular product sells 1,000 units a month. Keepa estimates this off of sales rank, sellers, and things like that. But let's just say 1,000 a month. You can look at the actual sellers who are selling this product. And let me show you how to do this right here. You want to type the ASIN into Keepa, obviously. You want to go to data, and then you want to go to offers. And this will show you all of the sellers that are currently selling this exact product. On a product like this, you might see a seller priced at 30 bucks, and he might be winning the buy box 45% of the time. This means that generally estimated, of course, he's selling about 450 units a month priced at $30. Now, the rest of the sellers are splitting up the remainder of these units, which is not 1,000, which is what you might have thought before watching this video, but it's actually only 650 units for the rest of the sellers. So, what does that mean for you? The question that you need to be asking yourself or your virtual assistant is, does this actually sell 1,000 units a month? Or am I actually getting what's left over after they take their initial 45% cut of the total units sold per month? Of course, there's a lot of other things that go into buy box rotation and things like that, which I can make an updated video on if you guys really want it. But instead of fighting over 1,000 units, you actually might be fighting over like 100 or 150, depending on how many sellers are on the listing. So before my VAs flag anything as a lead, they're checking this percentage first. If one seller is dominating at 60, 70, or 80% of the buy box, and that's not a position we can take, we can't compete on price and reviews, then that listing simply doesn't make it to my leads list. Doesn't matter how good the deal looks or how good the volume is. This is a little diagram on what it actually might look like after it's all said and done. This single check alone, just the buy box percentage, is why all of my leads are cleaner than what most people try and get for themselves. We're not just looking at products that we can sell. I'm looking at products that have room for me to squeeze in and sell. Look, I know if you're probably new to Keepa, this is all looking really confusing. It took me maybe my 10th product before I actually figured out how to truly use Keepa the right way. So if this takes you a few tries to understand it the way that I do, then that's normal. It gets easier, I promise. Okay, now let's go to the second thing. This one is huge and not a lot of sellers know this. The variance tab. Beginner sellers always stay away from variance, and they're always advised to stay away from variance. I even tell my own students to stay away myself. But after I teach them this, it changes everything. This is the variance tab, and this is what it looks like inside of Keepa. Now, variants are weird, because if there are 5 variants on a product and it sells 1,000 times a month, it's usually referring to all of the variants combined. So how do you know particularly which variants are selling the best? I'm gonna explain you how, and this is easily one of the most underrated parts about the Keepa software. Someone who just completely denies variants and never sells them is probably looking at like $2 grand a month, which is chips. But if you don't avoid these variants and you actually dive head first and actually can understand how many sales you're going to get, you could be looking at bigger numbers like this and scale to things like that. Let's use water bottles, for example, because it's easy. Let's say there's a black water bottle, a red one, and a yellow one. And Amazon might look something like this. And like I said earlier, Amazon is just going to show the combined amount of sales for all of these variants. And it's going to be really hard to know how much does the red one sell? How much does the yellow one sell versus the black one? And you truly have no idea which colors are actually moving units. So, luckily, Keepa fixes this completely. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to look at the reviews. As you can see for this product, it has 15,000 reviews, which is a little blurry. You might be able to see it. And here's why the reviews matter, because it's the closest thing that you can get to actually get a true number of how many units are being sold per month. Reviews don't attach to the entire listing. Reviews actually attach to the specific item that someone's buying. So if I buy a red water bottle and I leave a review, it only gets put on the red water bottle under Amazon. And through this, you can actually see who is selling, which ones, how much, and which unit has the most reviews. Let's say there's a total of like 98 reviews, right? And let's say the black one has 45 reviews. And let's say the red one has 50 and the yellow one only has 3. I wouldn't buy the yellow, I would buy the red and the black one. And this is something I make sure all of my virtual assistants know before they send me a product. When you're on Keepa, it looks something like this. And if there were multiple units, it would look something like 40 reviews for this one, 50 reviews for this one, 2 reviews for this one, and it would break it down in a percentage format. And this percentage is exactly how you're going to figure out which products are selling how much a month. And there's a big mistake that virtual assistants make, and even people who source manually, like either me or you. Because let's say the VA recommends me to buy the yellow variant instead of the red, which has much higher reviews in this case. I buy the lead thinking that the bottle has good sales or reviews, and I don't know which variant actually sells. I ship it to Amazon and my inventory doesn't get sold, and I'm confused. and I basically just lost a bunch of money, however I put down in that yellow unit, simply because the graph was underestimated or the virtual assistant did not know how to properly read it. But once your VA knows how to check this tab, they're not just sending you products, they're sending you exactly the right product that is selling the most amount of times per month. And that's the difference between a useful leads list or a complete garbage one that has nothing worth selling. Number 3, tracking and notifications. Keepa actually lets you set a price and sales rank notifications on individual products. Why is this even useful in the first place? This is a tool that people barely use when selling on Amazon for some reason. And I'll give you a good example. Let's say a seasonal product, or let's say these red, black, and yellow water bottles. Let's say during the summer they happen to go crazy, which would be normal for a water bottle. Throughout the cold or winter months, this might not be a profitable product to sell. And so if you got it on your leads list or you were just manually sourcing, you would normally toss it away. But if you look at the Keepa price history and realize that every few months or every certain quarter or whatever it is, it happens to shoot up, you know that during that time of the year, it's profitable, most likely. And you'll be able to see it just like this. Oh, Keepa price drop alert, right? It dropped to $14.99 and it used to be $19.99. Or in our case, we want it to go up, obviously, because if it goes up, you make more money. So when a product hits a certain sales rank or moves a certain threshold that you apply, it will alert you. You can do this inside of the tracking tab that's on Keepa. You can track overview, you can check your notifications, deals, you can even use the extension. This will make your sourcing so much more efficient because when you actually find a product, it might not always be a throwaway. It might be a throwaway now, but it might not be a throwaway in 5 or 6 months. And new sellers skip this often because they're scared of seasonal products. When they check Seller Amp, they see 50 sales per month and they're like, oh, this product sucks. But during the summer or during the winter or during a certain holiday season, it might shoot up to thousands. I've seen it so many times. Do not sleep on this. This is one of the craziest ways to actually sell seasonal products. Seasonal products are a gamble generally in the Amazon space if you don't know when to buy or how to buy. If you're buying too early, you're sitting on inventory for months. And if you buy too late, you're sitting stuck holding till the next time it happens again, next year. But if you set an alert on the product, the second it starts moving and the sales rank drops or goes up, whatever it is, and the price adjusts and demand kicks in, Keepa will tell you and you'll know exactly how and when to buy that product. And if you want to see exactly how I use this in my own Amazon store, I do it every single week, every Sunday on a call inside of my mentorship, which is the first link in the description, which you can easily join or apply, and I'll reach out to you to see if you're a good fit. But with this, you're not guessing timing anymore. You're getting alerted right when the window opens. Or you can actually set it to a specific point and when the sales rank is dropping and you can catch it and buy it. Seasoned sellers love this feature. Q4 only items, Q1 clearance sales, back to school windows, they're no longer guessing. They've got products tracked and they're waiting for the notification, which turns a risky product category into a predictable one. The fourth thing, oh my gosh, this slept on so hard. The Keepa Product Finder, which is essentially another way to source. Most people think of Keepa as a graph checker tool. You find a product somewhere, you run it through Keepa to see if it's good. And what most people don't know is there's an entire product discovery catalog built into Keepa, which looks something like this on the data tab. This is the Keepa Product Finder. This is a sourcing method in and of itself, not just a research tool, a full sourcing method. Most people think of Keepa as just a graph checker tool. You find a product somewhere else, you run it through Keepa to see if it's good, that's it. What most people don't know is that there's an entire product discovery built into Keepa itself. It's so underrated. The product finder lets you set filters and it will pull from legit every single product on Amazon. Yes, every single product. You can check sales rank. You can check the number of sellings on the list. You can check the price range. You can check the category. You can exclude categories. You can include certain categories, include certain brands, exclude certain brands. There's so many different things. If I were to put all of them in a list right here, this would literally take up the entire board. And for virtual assistants, this is massive. Once your VA understands your buying criteria, what sales rank you want, what price range you operate in, how many sellers is too many, you can have them run the Keepa Product Finder on a set schedule and pull fresh leads that already match your criteria before they even hit Target or Walmart. You're getting cleaner leads, faster, more efficient, everything, all because the filter does this for you. It's super underrated. Seriously, you got to play around and try it yourself. It's a little confusing at first. I get it. There's a lot of product specifications. And if you actually join my free Discord, I would gladly give you my Keepa Product Filter specification. I hate when people paywall or gatekeep every single piece of sauce behind Amazon because the truth is there are millions of sellers on Amazon. There are millions of products, but there are also millions of buyers, multi-millions, even billions of dollars up for grabs that you can easily have for yourself. There's no reason to gatekeep. There's so much money to go around. It's unbelievable. Most Amazon sellers who are stuck at 5 to 10K a month are doing product research the slow way. They're checking products one at a time against their criteria in their head, and other sellers are cooking them, destroying them out of the water, because they're using these systems, and the product finder is one of those tools. So here's the actual difference between the seller with thin margins and the seller making real money on the same exact platform with the same exact model. The thin margin seller is buying on total sales volume alone. They pick a variant without checking which one has reviews. They avoid seasonal products because they don't know when to jump in or when to stay out. And they source manually, one product at a time, burning hours and hours and hours just to find leads that are probably not even that good. The Keepa literate sellers check the buy box percentage before committing any listing. They know exactly which variant is winning before they even spend a singular dollar. They've got seasonal products tracked, they're getting alerted on the second the window opens, and they're using the Keepa Product Finder to generate filtered leads instead of just hunting for it manually. Same platform, same tools that literally everyone uses, same product sitting on Amazon right now. The only difference is they're knowing exactly how to read and understand the graph. So those are the four: the buy box percentage, the variance tab, the product tracking and notifications, and the Keepa Product Finder. These are my 4 non-negotiables. My VA can't send me a lead unless it checks all 4 and they've gone through it. And once you understand this, your pre-buying math is going to add up exactly how you need it to, because you're no longer making buying decisions off of fake numbers that you don't understand. You're making them based off of actually what's happening, the reality of selling on Amazon. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to pull up your top 5 current products right now, and I want you to check the buy box percentage for each one. And I bet at least one of them is going to tell you exactly where all of the sales per month are going. You don't need anything else to do this. Keepa, the graph, the tabs, it's all right there in front of you. Most people just don't even know what to look at. If you go through and you start applying this information that I just told you, and you've hit a wall, whether it's figuring out how to use the product finder correctly for a specific niche, or knowing which seasonal products are even worth tracking, or just a VA to run all 4 of these to check for yourself, this is what the mentorship is for. You can click the first link in my description and understand who this program is for, and what we are doing to help to join, and what the criteria is to join it. Because truthfully, I don't just accept everybody. I obviously only accept a certain person. So you can watch the video, you can fill out the form and book a call at the end, and someone from my team will have a quick call with you. And if it goes well, then I hope to see you on the one-on-one calls very, very soon. And for the next video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly how to calculate your true profit margin based off of everything and all of the fees: storage fee, fulfillment fee, referral fees. Because a lot of people think that they're profitable, and then when they run the numbers and they crunch them down, they're actually not. Next video, I'm breaking down the true profit margin with every single Amazon fee included: referral fees, fulfillment fees, storage fees, all of it. Because a lot of people think they're actually profitable on Amazon, and they're not. And that one's going to be in the description and here as well. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.